Desmumi.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Wheatley here with...
Volcanercraft thee.
Almost said it normally that time. Almost.
It's hard. Sorry.
Back with some more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. We last left off, we had just completed the second day of investigations, and now we're going to... and now we're going to day 3 trial.
June 17th, 9:52 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
This is it. The big day. Did you get any sleep? Yeah, I went to bed at 1 o'clock a.m. or so. Oh, what time did you wake up? 3 o'clock a.m. That's only 2 hours, Apollo. But at least you have me. And the amazing Mr. Hat. Here's looking at you, kid. That's a good reference. Casablanca. Good luck today, Apollo. That voice. Hey, get any sleep? Mr. Wright. I was going out of my mind with boredom, so I signed myself out earlier today. Somehow that place makes fake piano playing at the Indochine pasta joint seem almost fun. Daddy, do you know who Prosecutor Gavin's witness is today? Take a guess. How about Little Plum? That's Sherman Tank of a mom. Nope, guess again. That's too bad. You know, speaking of moms, you need to find me a new mommy one of these days, Daddy. It's barely morning and you're at it already, Trusty. Okay, see, this is why I don't buy their father-daughter relationship. ALITA TIALA, your client's fiance. She's going to be a witness? That seems odd. Why would she testify against her own fiance? I have to wonder what Gavin's up to. Something's going down today, that much is clear. Well, not to worry. I've got my panties back. If we can't find a killer, I'll pull one out of there! Brilliant! June 17th, 10 o'clock a.m. Something is... in my throat.
Maybe some cough drops will do you some good.
Court is now in session for the trial of Walkie-Talkie. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is warmed up and it's a sold-out house. Very well. To recap, while yesterday's witness seemed more guilty than any other party. Guilty of panty snatching? We did find out one thing for certain. There were 3 people in the park at the time of the murder. The witness, the victim, and the defendant. Correct, Air Judge. And today, I'd like to do something a little new age. I'd like to look at this horrible crime from the outside. The outside? The acquisition of the murder weapon, the preparation for the act. Our poor defendant told all, you see. To his betrothed. His betrothed? His fiancée, Air Judge. His partner for life, with no chance for parole. Very well, you may show the, lucky lady to the stand. Your name and occupation, Fraulein? ALITA TIALA. My occupation is future wife. Ah, traditional values. I respect that. Too many brides these days can't even weave baskets blindfolded, underwater. Yet you're here today as a witness for the prosecution? To be honest, I didn't want to testify at first, but I couldn't hide the truth. Honesty, another admirable trait. Fraulein, is it true that on the day of the crime, the defendant Walkie-Talkie confessed his plans? His plans for murder? Yes. The witness will please give her testimony to the court. Let's do it.
I'll be looking for nervous habits.
To be fair, you can tell when there's a nervous habit. The game tells you. It was the day that
Well,
it was the day that the family health checkup results came back. When Waki found out that Dr. Maractus had lied, he flew into a rage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols, and you already know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone but Waki could have done it. So the pistol did belong to the Kitaki family, then? Yeah. Thanks for the offer, some random guy on the internet, but I think I got this.
I mean, deductive reasoning from two theater nerds should be enough.
I mean, I've played this before, but it's been a while. Yes, with regards to this, an investigation is underway in the Kentucky mansion. On charges of the prosecution? I'm under arrest now! Of the possession of illegal firearms. And the bullet that took the victim's life, was it fired from the pistol the defendant procured? Yes, this has been proven. How can you prove something like that? Bullets carry marks from the barrel that fired them, called rifling marks. Rifling marks? Think of them as being a gun's fingerprints, left on every bullet it fires. And when did you first hear about Waki's plan? It was the day of the murder. I should have stopped him. I just didn't think he would actually do it. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. It was the day the family health checkup results came back. When Waki found out that Dr. Maractus had lied, he flew into a rage.
That's not a lie.
I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols, and you already know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone but Waki could have done it. How can you say that for certain? How? Air Forehead, you will refrain from badgering the Fraulein. It was the defendant, Waki, was it, who took the pistol from his home. We know this for a fact now. Suppose we do. So, how could anyone else have used this pistol to shoot the victim? They could not. Simple logic, yeah? That does seem to be the case. Does the defense have anything to say regarding this point? Could someone else have used the pistol?
Alright.
I think the answer is had to be Waki. But
I think the answer is it's someone else. There was another.
Alright, I'll go with that. Based on your testimony, there was clearly another. One other person had access to that pistol. Oh, her! She had access to the pistol.
Yeah.
What's this? Interesting. Let's ask the defendants then. Tell the court who this other person with access was. Well, of course, I mean, you, Miss TIALA. Me? But why? You were quite clear with when you told the court. You heard about the pistol from the defendant on the day of the murder. In other words, you knew what he was planning. Let me get this straight. You intend to tell us that this lady stole the pistol from her fiancé and killed a man in cold blood on his behalf? I've heard of people doing strange things for love, but this... It does seem a bit unfathomable, to be sure. I'm all for romance and for supporting your partner in life, to be sure. But I think I would hesitate at murder. I hope you do more than hesitate. What if a different connection could be proven? A connection between the witness and the victim. We might find that she had a personal motive beyond wanting to help her fiancé. That's what puts things in a slightly different light. What possible connection are you suggesting here? You know what I'm starting to think now? I'm starting to think that the police never looked inside that safe. I've evidence showing a connection between the witness, Miss TIALA, and the victim. This one's pretty obvious. You gotta present Watkins' chart. That looks like a medical chart. Found inside a safe at the Maractus Clinic. I'd like to draw the court's attention to the names written on the chart. What? Miss TIALA? Whatever. Why is your name on the chart? Well, care to explain the meaning of this, Miss TIALA? I'm not sure what you mean by meeting, Mr. Justice. Our warm little fiancé just froze over. I was on staff at the clinic until half a year ago. It was boring, so I quit. That's all. Is there a problem with that?
Miss TIALA, you testified that you had no connection to the victim.
And I don't. Now.
Now?
I quit half a year ago, didn't I? So there's no connection. Let me guess, you're the kind of guy who can't rest until he knows every last detail of his girlfriend's past. Am I right?
That's not true at all. Why, I embrace the ones I love. Past flaws are... no matter...
There's no connection now?
Doesn't fly in a court of law.
Doesn't fly?
She's one tough nut. She probably feels right at home with the Katakis.
You left your job at the Maractus Clinic, true, but you remain connected somehow.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence that proves the witness is still connected to Maractus Clinic.
I think it would be the, not the bullet.
I'm gonna save state first. I know it's not the bullet.
I think it's the slippers.
It's either the slippers or these. Found in Maractus Clinic foyer.
Yeah, I think it's the sandals first. If it's
Yeah.
not those...
Yep. These sandals were found in the Maractus Clinic lobby. They're yours, aren't they? Ah! Well, who knows? I'm sure there are lots of people with those sandals. So sorry, Fraulein, but your act isn't working. Your moment of hesitation just now cost you. What's with you? I thought you were on my side! Perhaps you are unaware that toes leave toe prints. A simple analysis of these sandals reveal all. Well, now you see your true colors. I was wrong to cooperate with you from the beginning. I just wanted you to help get Walkie back on the straight and narrow.
This court thinks you need to worry less about Walkie and more about yourself. It sounds as though we need to hear a bit more about your story.
Your sandals were found in the entrance to the clinic, which means you went there the day of the murder. Well, there's little point in denying it.
Very well. The witness will tell us about the visit. Why did you go to the Maractus Clinic that day?
I did go to the clinic that day, my first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him after all. I knew Walkie had the pistol. The doctor always was a timid man, too timid to admit his own mistake. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. I wanted to tell him to be careful, as an old friend.
By mistake, you mean the mistake we heard about from the defendant. The botched operation.
He was a timid, small man, but I never wished him harm. I just thought I should let him know, you know?
I think this is a perceived segment, but I'm not certain.
This is a perceived segment.
Alright. That does make sense.
Yes, but there's still one thing, which does not.
What's that, Prosecutor Gavin?
The sandals left in the lobby, of course. We can assume she wore these sandals to the clinic, yeah? Then why did she not wear them home? If it were me, I would have worn them home.
I would have worn those sandals home too.
So why were the sandals left behind? He pointed out the contradiction before me. There's probably a good explanation for this, right, Miss TIALA? Say, for instance, there happened to be a similar pair of sandals there which you wore home by mistake. Actually, that's right. I'm impressed, Mr. Gavin. Oh, it is nothing. There is, after all, no other possible explanation. Yeah, forehead?
Nah.
Oh, what the? No fair. He's filling the holes in her testimony.
The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I think I remember this. I did go to the clinic that day, my first time in half a year since I quit January.
Oh, this isn't a ring segment, or a bracelet segment.
I went to warn him after all. I knew Walkie had the pistol. The doctor always was a timid man.
Yeah, we know that.
That's what I've got. I'm not hiding any dark secrets. There's Pretz there. No dark secrets, eh? What? Look at me however you want, Mr. Justice. You won't find a thing.
She's hiding something, I know it. I must have some evidence that proves it too.
You're free to think whatever you like. I went to that clinic with only one thought in mind. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. Huh.
Not now. This is not a place to do it. Go to your right and press the...
Around what time did you go to the clinic? I don't remember exactly, but it was after 9:30, I think. That was the first time you had contacted Dr. Maractus in half a year? Of course it was. He wasn't the kind of boss you make friends with.
So why did you go to the clinic that day?
Alright, which one did you say?
Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. That one.
Oh, I see. But then you'd be betraying Waki, wouldn't you? No, I did it for him. For us! She went to warn him so that her fiancé would not have to commit such a crime, yeah? Hey, Diego. I didn't want them to take my Waki away. There's no way she went to the clinic just to warn him. Do you know why she went, Apollo? Time to figure out what really happened at the clinic. And fast. Alright, I did go to the clinic that day. My first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him. After all, I knew Waki had the pistol. Do you want Dr. Maractus to run away? Well, after I failed to stop Waki, I thought that was the only other way to avoid the problem. Couldn't you have called? Why go in person? I called several times that evening, but no one was in. The victim was busy driving home until after 9 o'clock p.m. that night, remember? This was proven by this mirror yesterday, yeah? I thought if I warned him, he would run away for sure. Knowing the doctor... The doctor always was a timid man, too timid to admit his own mistakes. You mean this act of malpractice on Waki, correct? If he had just told Waki the truth in the beginning, none of this would have happened.
True, that operation was the start of this whole affair.
Oh, of course, if he had told him, he might have been erased by the Kitakis much earlier.
A disturbing thought.
We know that the Maractus Clinic had ties to the Kitaki family. He probably couldn't have gone to the police, even if he wanted to. That's why I knew I had to warn him.
Well, that's why I've gone. I'm not hiding any dark secrets. This is, I'm pretty sure, what you have to present on. However...
Save state.
Let's try the... Let's see. Big toe found in left side. No. 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 God dang it.
Keep scrolling through.
I wish I could present part of her testimony back. Have you tried to press the whole testimony? Yes. There's only a couple things I can think of, and that's the slippers.
Well, we do have the save state. If that is wrong...
Yeah, let's try that. Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope.
Alright, reload save state.
No, I'm gonna keep going till I get it, then I'll reload. Or until I run out.
Try the lamp.
Nope.
I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Wait, let me press on this again. No dark secrets, eh? What? Look at me however you want, Mr. Justice. You won't find a thing. He's hiding something, I know it. I must have some evidence that proves it too. Yes. They pretty much explicitly say, this is the one you have to present on. Or maybe they're just fake hand-holding. Yes, this is day 3. I figured that wasn't it, but I thought I'd make sure. Nope.
And now you should reload.
I've got one more thing. And that is this. Objection! Gotcha! Objection! This chart was found inside a safe in the doctor's office. Yes? Why would this one chart be in that safe? Miss TIALA, you know how it was, don't you? Mind filling me in? Dr. Maractus didn't have the leisure of making mistakes. That's why he wrote up a false report and kept the truth locked away. Bad air, Doctor! And this is where you come in, Miss TIALA. The nurse who filed this chart was you, which means you knew about Walkie's failed operation. Interesting. You were in the same position as Dr. Maractus. Kind of makes it hard to claim no connection, doesn't it? You're bold for a novice, I'll give you that. Mr. Justice, you must know that I was only a nurse. The doctor is responsible for the chart's contents. This chart business seems to be quite important. Please amend your testimony accordingly. Too bad, little attorney. My bracelet's reacting again. What is it, Apollo? I felt my bracelet vibrate just now. Your bracelet? Just like yesterday, like you said. When a witness is unsure of something, their nervous habit gives them away. But I can't see anything, Apollo. Then what's my bracelet reacting to? Wait, maybe... Yes, that has to be it. What has to be it? Your sense, Apollo. They must be sharper than mine. Huh? I can't see it, but you can sense it. I don't know about that, Trucy. I don't have some kind of special power or anything. Listen to me, Apollo. There's a weak point somewhere in Miss TIALA's testimony, but we don't know where her nervous habit is. Oh, then what do we do? You have to perceive it yourself, Apollo, with your eyes and your senses. It's up to me and my bracelet. I don't know why, but that bracelet helps. Somehow, touching it helps me focus. Let's give it a shot and break down that testimony. How do I go to the clinic now for a half-year-old chart? I wanted... Let's see. Why would I go to the... I'll listen to that one more time. Gotcha! Why go to the clinic for a half-year-old chart now, you ask? But you know why you would go now, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. It was quite clear, Miss TIALA, you have a nervous habit. The moment you said the word now, you used your right thumb to fiddle with your ring. What? She was unsure. I saw it. Now, that's the key word. The chart wasn't part of your past. It was a clear and present threat. That's ridiculous. Why, if that were the case, I wouldn't have had 6 months to do. I would have had 6 months to do something about it.
Indeed.
Eh?
Which means something happened quite recently. Something to make this chart a problem for you now. I've got her on the ropes now. I can feel it. Time to strike the killing blow with evidence. Miss TIALA, there's no use trying to hide it. This chart became a threat to you now because of this. A health checkup report belonging to the defendant. The Kitakis are trying to get out of the business. The health checkup this month was their first ever. What did you think when you heard about this?
Oh, nothing. Why should I think anything?
Oh, I would think you were possibly beside yourself because you were afraid. You knew that Waki's chest x-ray would reveal. A full half year had passed since the operation. You thought you were home free when the chart came back to haunt you.
Eek!
Feathers!
That's all, Your Honor. What just happened? Did the witness just admit to lying?
I sensed it. There was a great aura emanating from her forehead. Very cool. So the lady was lying, it seems.
That's correct. She said she had no connection to the Maractus Clinic, but her connection was deep indeed. A bit too deep. If the Kitakis got hold of the chart with her name, she'd be finished. Isn't that right, Miss TIALA?
You guessed it.
Order! Order! I did it. I broke her testimony.
Amazing, Apollo. I didn't see it all. I didn't see it at all. Daddy was right about you. Wait!
Miss TIALA.
It's true. The chart was bad news for me. That's why I wanted to be at the doctor that day. But that's all! I told him about Waki and went home. It appears this cross-examination is far from over. What? She hid the truth from us, this is clear. Yet, it is not clear that this truth has anything to do with the case at hand.
Very well. The witness will add this to her testimony, and we'll have a bit more cross-examination.
Ugh, so close. You're still close. Keep on her, Apollo. Nothing happened at all. I warned him and left.
How did Dr. Maractus respond to the warning?
Oh, he was quite surprised. Panicky, even. Who wouldn't be scared to learn a Kitaki was after them?
Incidentally, this court is not afraid of any mobsters. Why, we had a life-threatening situation just yesterday right here in this courthouse. Yeah, real impressive the way you stood up to the attack of the amazing Mr. Hat, sir.
After which I carried you back to your chambers. Sounds like the judge had quite a fright.
Nothing happened. Alright. This is pretty obvious. I should have presented this before. Nor that ALITA TIALA was anyway involved.
Well, let's try putting some evidence up anyway.
There's no way she went to the clinic now just to warn him.
Do you know why she went, Apollo?
Time to figure out what really happened at the clinic and fast. Nothing happened at all. I warned him and left.
The bullet in the safe disproves. Wait, no, the lamp of blood disproves that.
It's not blood, though.
Oh.
You say nothing happened in the doctor's office. I disagree. Take a look at this.
What's that? It looks like a squished up ball of clay. Kind of like you, actually.
This bullet was found in the Maractus Clinic office. Something did happen in that office, Miss TIALA.
Enough of this joking around. The police investigated the clinic.
Ah, but this was stuck inside the doctor's safe.
Inside the safe? I guess the police didn't check that far.
But there is a problem. How can you say the bullet was fired on that day? Weren't you the one who explained rifling marks to us? The pistol was taken from the Kitaki mansion that day. If the marks on this bullet match the murder weapon, then that proves a firearm was discharged in the office on the day of the murder. Not bad, Air Forehead. Bailiff, have this bullet analyzed immediately.
Dun, 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 dun,
30 minutes later, a report arrives.
dun, 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 dun.
Do you want to do this?
The rifling marks on both bullets are identical.
Well, it seems as though the bullet in the safe was fired from the murder weapon. Perhaps the defense would like to state their position? The bullet in that safe proves one fact. A pistol was fired in the office on that day, and at the time of the firing, the safe was open. The safe which contained the top-secret chart. Do you think someone was threatening Dr. Maractus in order to open the safe? Only one person was in position to do such a thing. Our witness, ALITA TIALA. Order, order, order! Mr. Justice, where are you going with this? Are you accusing the witness? ALITA TIALA knew about Waki Kitaki's botched operation. She got engaged to him without telling him about it. As long as that bullet remained in his chest, his days were numbered. What if she married him, and then the bullet finally reached its destination? What? That reminds me. Apparently, the Kitakis have been asserting themselves in lawful business practices. They're making quite a great deal of money. A fortune, if you will. Nefarious! So she planned to marry him just to get her hands on this fortune?
From the witness.
You keep talking trash about my ALITA, and I'll sue you, lawyer man! Huh? Me? Yeah, you said you'd abuse my ALITA! I think you mean accuse. Same difference. Well, you can't have her. She's mine. It was me. I shot that doctor. Me. He left me to die, so I left him to die too. There in that park. Waki, just cool down a sec, please. You keep your hands off my ALITA or out. Miss TIALA? I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've laughed so hard. Something funny. Waki, wake up and smell reality. ALITA, baby? The signature on the chart, the engagement. I mean, come on. It's so obvious, even for a brainless, spoiled brat such as yourself. ALITA? Your honesty is like a breath of foul air, Fraulein. Hey, I wasn't getting out of this clean anyway. So, the family fortune is really what you're after. That's right. I wanted the money. No way! That's whack! I ain't trying to hear that! Should have done the wedding earlier. Oh well. By the way, can I ask you a question? Who, me? I believe you said you were going to abuse me? Accuse. Of what crime, might I ask? Huh? Oh, I'm a bad girl, sure. I got close to that brat because I wanted his money, but he was the one with the pistol. He could have fired it into the safe after I'd already left the clinic. What? I would never do a thing like that. It was definitely that silly brat. Wait, but... What are you talking about? Trucy, you had the most to lose if that chart was found. But I didn't have a pistol now, did I? Well, you could have taken Waki's. You'd think he'd have mentioned that, no. All I've heard him say is, it was me. I shot him. That's only because he's trying to protect you. Sorry to intrude this lovely conversation. But the two of you are forgetting one critical point. What point? Certainly, the Fraulein wanted that shot. You assume she threatened the doctor into opening that safe, but then, wouldn't she have taken the charge? Oh, you see? That charge wouldn't have been left in that safe. Ah! He's right. Miss TIALA. Yes? It is clear to the court that you are not a very good fiancé. Oh, I'm flattered. Perhaps it's time you told us the truth. Tell us about yourself, including your actions and whereabouts on that day. Don't forget, we've proven that you were at the Maractus Clinic on the day of the crime. Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof I stole that pistol, do you?
and that brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not.
I think this also might be a perceived segment. You went back later.
The chart was dangerous, you understand. I need to get rid of it. That's why I went that day. But you couldn't get the charge then, could you? And later that night, Dr. Maractus was shot. I heard about the shooting, waited a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place.
Ah, that was you? Thump.
Ah, Apollo, that sound, it came from behind the door.
Someone's in there. Break in. They left through the window. So you were the burglar.
That was you too. If only I'd had one more minute. Then I could have opened that safe and gotten the chart.
What? That's trespassing, and brazen at that.
Oh, is this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, you can't blame a girl for wanting to protect herself. They are gangsters, you know.
In any case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination.
The little crime to avoid the big one, eh? Yes, I went to the clinic the other day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof I stole the pistol, do you?
But you could have stolen it.
Could have? Is this some new definition of proof?
We'll ask Wacky, he'll tell us.
Might I remind you, this is a cross-examination. You might want to keep your baseless theories to yourself.
He's right, isn't he? That brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not. The doctor was shot in the right temple, yes.
So it seems. Let's review the facts again, shall we? If the killer shot from this location, the bullet would have struck our victim square in the forehead. Like Mr. Air forehead over there. The entry wound was in the right temple.
Yes, we heard testimony on this yesterday.
At the time of the shooting, the victim was still standing...
Oh, at the time of the shooting, the witness was standing here. No. Just before the gun was fired, he shouted. The victim turned his head to look, and he was shot.
But that testimony was proven to be a lie. Our egregious panty snatcher, Mr. Stickler, did witness the crime, but he was standing to the north, next to the trash can where he tossed those panties. If Mr. Stickler shouted from this location, the bullet couldn't hit the right temple. Silly, silly attorney. What? Do you remember what you had for breakfast this morning?
Do you remember, Trucy?
I always have a glass of milk for breakfast. What matters is one thing. The doctor was shot in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. The panties guy was mistaken.
But his location was proven. You can't write that off as him being mistaken.
Then why don't you show us, Air Forehead?
Show you?
What? Must I explain everything? Very well. Let's recap. If the witness panties guy was standing to the north, then where was the shooter standing? From what location did the killer shoot the victim?
Wait, if the witness was standing there, how could anyone shoot the victim in the right temple?
I merely laid out the facts for us. It's up to the one possessing the shiny forehead to show us. If you can, that is. Walkie-talkie was standing in the killer mark. Wesley Stickler at the witness mark, and of course Pal Maractus was at the victim mark.
Let's hear what the defense has to say. Where was the killer standing?
Someplace else.
All the facts stand now. We can't explain this crime without contradicting ourselves at some point. But I know why. The real killer shot from an entirely different location. What are you talking about? I don't see any other place.
Apparently, Mr. Justice does. Let's hear it. Where in the park did the killer shoot the victim from?
Oh, I love this. It's time to raise the roof. And the stakes.
I love this part.
Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think?
Perfect time to save.
Yep. I know exactly where we need to be, though.
But what if they were a bit more terrifying? Like so. Double penalty? Air 4 had wishes to take us in a new direction? Then he must be ready for the challenges ahead. Challenge accepted. It's justice time. Are you sure, Apollo? The key is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. I believe that if we believe that, and we know where he stood, and the victim turned when he shouted, there's only one place the killer could have been. The killer shot the victim from here.
Okay. He shot the victim from on the front side of the cart, where it says Eldun.
So,
No.
right here?
From a little bit to the left of that.
Right here?
I said left.
Right there?
Around right there, correct. You would still be able to hit in the right temple, and it would not be blocked by the view of the cart.
This is where the killer shot from. I hadn't thought of that. None of us did, Your Honor. And this explains the wound at the right temple how? I hadn't thought of that. I'm amusing
Apollo,
diversion.
you idiot!
Mr. Justice. Penalty. Yes, amusing. It's like your career, Mr. Justice. Try again.
That was kind of BS, to be honest.
I knew that was wrong, by the way.
Thanks.
Sorry. That was kind of a dick thing
But
to
there
say.
was was a footprint right in front of the Eldun side.
Look, it's really obvious. I'm sorry. I have to. It was right here.
They were on the cart and they jumped down.
I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to Miss ALITA TIALA. What do you mean? Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time, we were prepared. We all know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Wesley Stickler was standing next to the trash can where he saw the two men. He shouted, just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look in his direction. A shot was fired. The victim was hit in the right temple. Oh no. Oh yes! Which direction was his right temple facing at that moment? That's right, towards the noodle stand. Order, order, order! So you're saying the killer was inside the noodle stand? Let's think about this a bit more, shall we? You say the killer was inside the noodle stand, which would mean the victim, Dr. Maractus, came to the park, wheeling his own murderer in the cart behind him.
Yep.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along. There's something we should worry about before that. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place? Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? Someone was hiding in the stand. We have not come this far to talk about possibilities. Let's talk about proof, baby.
Okay, can I...
Show us evidence that proves someone was in that stand. Can I prove
Okay,
that? You want evidence that someone was in the stand?
Okay. The evidence is that all the bowls were in the clinic at the time, of which case the weight of the bowls would be replaced by a weight of the person.
Do we have anything in the court record that can tell that?
Save state, try presenting the bowl.
I already save stated. Alright. Well, I've got it. I've got it right here. Intriguing. Let's see what you've got. Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand. I don't actually remember. Thoughts, Prosecutor Gavin? We have a choice between heaven or hell.
Either our brains are damaged or our foreheads is. I wonder which it is.
This court finds Mr. Justice's brain faulty. By majority vote!
Time to pick something else.
But showing us the right evidence this time. Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand.
Inspect the noodle stand. Zoom in on the edge of which the shot would be taken. That one right there. No?
Oh! Oh! Oh, no!
Wait. Do we seriously not have it?
Not have what?
We don't have the freaking diagram. No. Oh.
Gotcha!
I know it was either... I figured it out. It was the footprint next to the, It was the fact that her footprint was next to the,
Yeah. It was either the bowls or the footprint.
The Maractus Clinic. And they're covered with paint. These slippers were found in a trash can near the crime scene. And a single slipper print was found at the scene. Right next to the noodle stand. Oh, and Miss TIALA, your toe print was found in the left slipper. In other words, this is proof you were inside the noodle stand. Yet there was only one slipper mark found at the scene.
You can land with only 1 foot.
Can this be called a footprint in good faith? There was a sidewalk next to it. Observe the diagram. A park pathway runs next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on a cobblestone path. Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, yeah? Why not? You have an impression left by a single slipper. What if it was on the stand and simply fell to the ground? That's just dumb. One more thing. A noodle stand is typically cluttered with the tools of the noodle making trade. There's no room for a person to ride in them.
You have a point. Could someone have
The balls at
hidden
this point.
in the stand?
Apollo, I think I might be onto something. I think I figured out how one of our pieces of evidence. Yeah, you're right. In order to make room in the stand, something would have to be.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand?
Sing!
Someone did scheme to clear space in the stand. This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Eldoon's noodle stand.
Yes, and what about it?
We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. In the lobby of the Maractus Clinic.
A large quantity of noodle bowls in the victim's clinic?
Mr. Eldoon was very clever about those bowls. Well,
Hey.
sorry.
Well, I don't care who did it. Without the stand, I'm finished. All my noodles bowls were in there too.
Yet the bowls were removed. That night, there was space inside the noodle stand. Space created at the Maractus Clinic, no less. Right around the time you were there, Miss ALITA TIALA. Stop! I won't listen to any more of these wild fantasies. No, not fantasies. They're worse lies than the spoiled brat's pickup line. Ouch. Shots fired.
I would like to remind the witness of our current status. The court does not consider you entirely innocent.
Show me an innocent. I'll show you a fairy tale.
In any case, the defense has somehow made its point. The witness has both a motive and an opportunity to kill Dr. Maractus.
More fairy tales. This whole trial is a fairy tale.
Then please pull us back down to reality, Miss TIALA. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself. This is it. Why was Dr. Maractus pulling the stand that night? And what was ALITA TIALA doing inside of it? Time to get to the bottom of this case.
I think I can hear an alarm in your background.
That would be my watch.
That night, I went to ask Dr. Maractus for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kitaki family's hands. But Dr. Maractus didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kitakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him.
You knew about the botched operation, so you tried to get rid of the chart to save yourself.
I won't make excuses. And I did warn that good doctor. I gave him a chance. I told him that brat got his health checkup report. And that he was coming to settle the score.
I see. Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is the last testimony. Either I perceive the truth, or it's over.
It's on the second one.
Okay, let me make sure.
That night I went to ask Dr. Maractus for the chart.
Oops.
I had no intention of ever letting the chart fall into the Kitaki family's hands.
Go to her hands.
Nope.
Evidently not.
Wait a minute, one more thing. Didn't she have a bracelet? No.
Go back to her hand behind the desk.
Nope.
Stop that one.
You thought the Kitakis had sent me.
Hands again.
Ah, nope. This has got to be it.
I'm going to say it's the other hand after this one ends.
All I did was talk and lie.
What? Show me proof!
I'm pretty sure about this one. I think I'm getting the hang of this. A little slip in confidence, and they gave it all away. The proof is you, Miss TIALA. All I did was talk to him, you claim, and yet you can't hide your own nervous twitch when you say those words.
My twitch? What are you talking about?
You have a habit of scratching the area of your neck around the edge of your scarf.
What? Oh, I remember this! What?
This is working better than I'd hoped. Her unconscious action tells the truth she won't say. Habits and lies. 2 dots. Connect the dots and find the truth.
Don't look at me like that! I told you the truth!
It seems that when you recall what really happened in that office, you can't keep your hands off your neck, can you? It seems that nervous habit are unconscious reactions that manifest when someone is trying to hide something. You can't hide beneath your scarf, Tiara. Or TIALA. Something happened between you and the victim in the Maractus Clinic office. And I've got proof that shows exactly what happened. This one took me a while. Do you know what it is?
Is it the lamp?
Yes, it is.
What's that?
You're touching your scarf again. There's something unusual about this lamp. The bulb is broken, and there's a red splotch on the cord.
Eh?
Seeing how you hide your neck, I think I could come up with a plausible explanation for the lamp's state.
Well, spit it out. This talking in circles nonsense is killing me.
Very well. The answer is very simple. Miss ALITA TIALA, please remove your scarf.
Eek!
This is a trial to determine what happened in the park, yet we seem to have drifted off target. We'll find out soon enough if we're drifting, as soon as the witness removes her scarf.
I won't do it. This is insane. I'm an unrelated third party. You can't order me to remove my clothing.
Miss TIALA, I'm afraid you're forgetting what's already been proven.
What?
You're hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf.
No. No!
And
I knew it. So I was right, wasn't I, Miss ALITA TIALA? Your neck. That isn't what that isn't what I think it is. Something did happen that night at the Maractus Clinic. You needed to get that chart back no matter what it took, even if you had to steal your fiance's pistol to do it. But wait, looking at this lamp and the witness's neck, it looks like the very opposite happened. Exactly. The victim in the clinic that night was this witness specifically. You tried to threaten Dr. Maractus, and he attacked you. That's what happened that night in the Maractus Clinic.
that bird is very unhappy.
Order, order, order! Will someone please tell me what really happened?
I told you the truth already. I went to the clinic that night to warn Dr. Maractus. That gangster knows everything. He's coming for you.
Looks like my clinic's seen its last patient.
We have to get rid of that chart. Quick, open your safe. Give it to me.
So you can save your own skin?
What?
I know what you're up to. You want in with the family, and if they see that chart, you're finished. Leaving me holding the short straw? But if I'm going down, I want some company. You! And what happened next?
He jumped at me and knocked me to the floor. Then he took that cord. Paul Maractus was serious, deadly serious. He really tried to strangle me. I must have blacked out.
So, you were the victim.
And the red splotch on the cord was your lipstick? I didn't want to remember that night. That's why I didn't bring it up. There. Are you happy now? I was out cold, almost killed, and you claim I then snuck into that noodle stand. But how could I? Ah!
The jawline!
Well, one thing is clear. We now know what really happened at the Maractus Clinic. And it would seem our victim was not entirely without blame himself.
I'm sorry. I get so nervous just thinking of it. It's hard to breathe. I've told you everything. Can I go home now?
You bear some responsibility for events that day, true. Yet, if you were also a victim, this court would owe you some sympathy. Well, Mr. Justice, I believe this clears up the remaining questions for Miss TIALA.
When did this happen?
Suddenly, everyone sympathizes with her.
I don't know what to think anymore, Apollo. I mean, is that it? Do we know everything we need to know about Miss TIALA?
Very well. This finishes the cross-examination of this... Hey, thanks, Clavier.
Not so fast. This party's just getting started. Now we rock! What? Those spikes on your head are softer than they look. Or do you not have the stomach to go all the way?
Prosecutor Gavin.
Paul Maractus choked ALITA TIALA. She fell unconscious. But what happened next? He's right. There is more. We don't know. But she was choked hard enough to leave that mark. She would have been out for a while. Even still, what if it was her in that noodle stand?
ALITA TIALA, half dead. Dr. Maractus pulling that stand, and a bullet fired from inside the noodle stand.
What if it's all true? We might have already figured out what truly happened that night.
Miss ALITA TIALA, as you can see, we're not through with you just yet.
You really want to blame me for this murder, don't you? You too, Prosecutor Gavin.
Me? Fraulein, I only wish to know the truth. Well, let's go back over what we've learned up until now.
I know exactly what happened.
On the day of the murder, Waki saw his checkup report, from which he learned about the bullet still inside him. So he took a pistol from the family stash with the intent to give Dr. Maractus some of his own medicine.
And Miss TIALA heard about this from Waki, so she went to the Maractus clinic ahead of him, in order to get rid of the chart with her signature.
But then, something happened.
Sounds like you figured it all out. But remember, I was the victim. I was out cold.
But what about Dr. Maractus? That does seem to be the problem. He had just strangled ALITA TIALA, perhaps he thought, to death. What did he do after his crime?
I was just knocked out, not dead.
From the state of his clinic and the scene in the park, I think it's clear what the good doctor did next. Well, Forehead, care to guess? Well, Mr. Justice, what did Dr. Maractus do? Maybe he did think he killed ALITA TIALA. Do I have evidence to show what he did next? Bam, 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 bam.
Save state.
Why do I have a feeling it's the stand itself?
Either the stand, the bowls, or the map. Only three possible.
Maybe the mirror. Gotcha. As his next move, Dr. Maractus stole Guildon's noodle stand.
What? Killing me disturbed him that much? So much he randomly stole a noodle stand?
It wasn't so random. Remember all the bowls in the clinic's foyer? Bowls that belonged inside that stand? I think it's pretty obvious, don't you? That stand was at the clinic. However, the question is, why did he remove the bowls?
Maybe because the stand was heavy.
Or he wanted to put something in the stand in their place. Ah! Wait, you don't mean... I do. Dr. Maractus did replace the bowls with something. Your corpse, Miss TIALA.
My corpse?
Dr. Maractus panicked. He thought he'd killed you.
His next move would be to dispose of the body. That's crazy talk. You're all crazy.
Then let's think about it logically. The doctor had a place to dispose of you in mind. But on his way there, who should he run into but the defendant, Waki Kitaki?
I question your logic.
What's this, Prosecutor Gavin?
The park is a dead end. Why would he head in that direction to begin with? That's right. He had no reason to go there. Oh, now I get it. It was a trick. That spoiled brat made him do it. He made the doctor steal the stand.
Tell me, why would someone go to a dead end? Unless the park was his destination.
What?
Apparently, the defense had an idea. Tell us where Dr. Maractus was heading with the stand. Here, please show us on the diagram. To where exactly was the victim dragging the stand?
The lake.
There, that's a river.
Yes, Your Honor. I scarcely need to explain why. A perfect place to dispose of a body. He was going to throw me into that river?
He didn't have many other options, Fraulein. I believe this clears up all of the remaining questions. The victim pulling the stand, and the defendant before him, and inside the stand, you, Miss ALITA TIALA. And then, the denouement. Wesley Stickler of panty-snatching fame walks up. Seeing the two men, he shouts. In that instant,
So, I shot him?
You were the only one who could have stolen Wacky's pistol. It had to be you. Well, Miss TIALA?
Nice work.
You mean I'm right?
I mean, you've done a fine job dreaming up a story. To get that spoiled brat off the hook. You're the one who's dreaming. Apollo's backed up everything he said with facts. If you're so sure he's making up, give us another reason. Why would Dr. Maractus pull the stand through the park? Who knows? But there's one gaping hole in your logic. I think Mr. Gavin knows whereof I speak.
Where of what? I can't believe she's still trying to deny this. Is this true, Prosecutor Gavin?
Must I always be the one to point out Air Forehead's errors? Maybe there really is something. I believe the Fräulein speaks of Air Doctor's car.
His car?
That's right. The Maractus Clinic has the big garage.
Oh, I remember this now, too. I remember. In which sat a green sports car, was it?
Why would he steal the stand in the first place? If he wanted to carry a body, he would have used his car.
You can't get a car into a park.
And so we find our victim without probable cause to steal that staff. And our defense without a case. I have an idea. You know that green car? I bet it wouldn't run. It was broken.
Ah, what an excellent counter-argument, Fräulein.
Too bad you're quite wrong. Eh? Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened to your daddy. Daddy? That's right. That night, the car that hit Mr. Wright was that green sports car.
Oh yes, I'd nearly forgotten about it.
Afterwards, he drove it back to the garage. It ran fine. That's right. So why didn't he use his beloved sports car,
I have evidence.
A glaring contradiction, to be sure. More glaring than your forehead.
No.
No!
I like how my hair has its own gravity.
Order, order, order. Well, Mr. Justice, why didn't Dr. Maractus use the car to carry the body?
Is that a grown-up surrender, I hear? Some advice? Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days.
Everything I've learned. Oh yeah, Gavin told us the reason himself. Mr. Justice, this contradiction casts doubt on your entire case. This is truly your last chance. The defense will explain to us what happened that night.
I have an idea. It's all coming together. That night, Dr. Maractus couldn't use his car. Ha! Now you're making even less sense than usual. Not according to my information, Miss TIALA. Put one and one together, and that explanation is simple.
If it's so simple, perhaps you can show us some evidence. Show us proof as to why the car wouldn't run that night. Do you know what it is?
I mean, logic would presume it's the broken, side view mirror, but it's probably something else.
It is something else.
The panties stuffed in the exhaust pipe.
Exactly. Let's see now. Panties again!
All sorts of things come out of my panties. Even the truth.
Another crime was committed the night of the murder. The theft of these panties. The latest in a string of similar thefts, actually. But that night, the snatcher was caught in the act. A brave young girl chased the thief until he hid in the Maractus Clinic's garage.
What?
The snatcher hid the panties there before running. Perhaps someone in this court remembers where he hid them. Why, weren't they found in the car's exhaust pipe? Exactly. By the way, I learned something yesterday. A very important piece of information. And I learned it from you, Prosecutor Gavin.
So you were here investigating?
Yeah, what the crap. There we go.
And I was on my way home when my hog gave up to the ghost.
Your hog?
My motorcycle wouldn't start. It clogged the exhaust pipe. Too bad. It looks like such a nice bike, too. Hard to believe that it couldn't break just from that. Cars, motorbikes, they're all the same. Clog the exhaust and they won't run. My, how interesting.
While Miss TIALA and the doctor were struggling, the panty snatcher snuck into the Maractus garage. From that time until the time we found these, that car wouldn't start.
What? That's why Dr. Maractus had to use the noodle stand. It was the next closest thing he could think of.
Well, Miss TIALA, that wraps your doubts up quite nicely, I think.
So it does. Where am I? So dark. Can't see. Cramped. The pain. My throat's burning.
What's your problem?
You, Doc! I know what you did! Walkie? You lied to me! So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, man!
Wait, let me explain.
Fine, I'll give you your last request.
Listen, you're being tricked, but not how you think. It's not just me.
No! He'll ruin everything! I have to stop him! Bang bang!
That is all.
And thus, Prosecutor Gavin has lost his case.
Funny, this isn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Oh well, too bad.
There's still one mystery. How did you manage to disappear from that stand?
In the silence after the shot, I heard the witness running. I believe we heard as much from Wesley Stigler. He went to use the public phone to inform the police. Which is when I made my escape.
Which is when you left that slipper print.
Dr. Maractus didn't bother taking my slippers off. I threw them out after I stepped in that paint, though.
That was your mistake.
No, my biggest mistake was coming to you for help, Mr. Justice. I believed in you. You and your anything agency. If anyone would get Walkie declared guilty, it was you.
I believe we've reached a conclusion of sorts. Prosecutor Gavin, how is Miss ALITA TIALA doing?
She's confessed to everything. We are processing her arrest now. Prosecutor Gavin sure seems calm for someone who just lost.
I think he already knew. He'd figured out she was the killer a while ago.
Some advice? Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days.
He lost, but I didn't exactly win either.
Something's the matter, Air Forehead.
Looks like it's time to announce a verdict.
And it is at this point where we get walkie-talkie to Eldoon.
Court is adjourned. I'm planning on doing a little more of the game, by the way, tonight.
That's fine.
Okay. But I'm gonna take an intermission after this case.
Alright.
Great job, Apollo, you did it!
Yeah, we did, somehow.
Walkie's off the hook. Free to become the gangster he's always wanted to be. And he has you to thank.
Hey, attorney man!
You gotta pay for what you did in my ALITA, Holmes! Or to blame, I guess. You get my ALITA back! Super pointy head attorney with the death wish!
Enough! Oh wait, this is
Hey! Enough, Walkie.
I didn't realize who it was, sorry.
Ah, Mr. Kitaki.
It's hard time you open your eyes, Walkie.
What do you know, old man? I think it's about time you open yours. Giving up the laugh trying to become some kind of businessman?
Ironic seeing is how Mr. Kitaki's eyes are always closed.
Don't talk about what you don't understand, Walkie.
I'm afraid the guard is going to throw them both out.
If not in jail. Wouldn't that be a happy ending?
Hey, maybe we can help them out. We know why Mr. Kitaki needs to make so much money. Maybe we should tell Walkie.
I mean, yeah, we do know. I'm gonna save my state here.
Oh, Walkie, Apollo has something to tell you.
Huh? I do? Way to put me on the spot.
And what's that? Show him the reason why, Apollo.
Why is Mr. Kitaki trying to become a businessman? Do you know?
The medical reports. He wouldn't have seen that one. It would be checkup report.
Think about it, Walkie. Think about your condition. I talked with your mother, Little Plum, yesterday.
It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is.
She doesn't mean... You aren't really... Are you?
I searched the globe, and I found what? A doctor who can take a bullet out of you, Walkie. His voice has changed so much right here. But it's an expensive procedure.
Man, but you got plenty of money already, don't you?
I won't use it. It was the gangster life that did this to you, Walker. I want to help you, and I want to do it clean. Please understand, Walkie.
Oh, those are his eyebrows.
Yeah, nobody has that black of a eyelid. Seriously, man.
I thought that was just shadow.
Nope.
Dad.
Man, I see how it is, old man. Always you looking out for Alpha.
Walkie. Listen good, old man, one day, I'm gonna take you out. Then we'll see who's the OG. You try to hide in your business suit, I'll find you. Stupid old geezer. Why does he remind me of, why does he remind me so much of, freaking, Yondu?
Maybe you gave him a close to Yondu voice. No, it says it should be.
Mr. Kataki, I liked you more without the puppy dog eyes.
I'm glad. To admit, I'm not so good with words. But I know a professional job when I see one. Thank you.
Who, me? I don't think...
Someday, I'll bake you one of our latest, the Kentucky lime pie.
He's opening a pie shop?
So long.
And he was gone.
Well, let's head back, Apollo. To the Right Anything Agency.
Hey, since when do I work at your agency?
Aw, we make a good team. Don't just stand there, let's get going.
Why not? She did help me out, and there's a few questions that still need answers. Like this power of mine that she showed me. And my bracelet. If anyone can help me figure it out, it's her. Though I can't say I care much for what her father has become.
Oh, that's right. We have to go someplace first.
Huh? Where?
Why? To claim our reward from Mr. Eldoon.
Ah, salty noodles. Right, he got his stand back already?
Oh, and after that, you can come see my show, with a special appearance by the amazing Mr. Hat. Oh, it's special, all right.
Please, anything but him.
The DNE.
Turnabout Serenade. Yeah, people consider the one we just played to be the low light of the game.
I actually liked it.
I will be back in about 15 minutes, everyone. So thank you all so much for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all in 15 minutes. Take care, continue testing, and best of luck in all your future endeavors. Bye-bye.